Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Wildcat Week. I'm Randall King, sitting in for Roger Alcock. Well, Wildcat football ended its inaugural season with a 7-3 record after beating Lawrence Tech for the second time this past Saturday. And now we get a chance to break that game down here with head football coach Jordan Langs. And coach, it is the Monday as we're recording this after the storm.
Yeah.
And actually 16 weeks of storming. For you and the coaching staff, I mean, this is kind of a strange question to start with because we got a lot of football to show, but do you get a pause? Do you get a break? Do you get a chance for this to settle in?
Yeah, a little bit. Sunday was our time to do that. We have 2 real busy days here before the Thanksgiving break comes, but Thanksgiving break's coming in a really good time for us, our staff, our players. It's a good time for everyone to kind of decompress and recharge.
After we look at the game highlights, we'll talk about the season, but you get a sigh of relief, and is it nice really saying 7-3 and not 6-4?
Yeah, it really is, especially, 7-3 versus 6-4 in the big grand scheme of things isn't that different, but winning to get to 7-3 versus losing to get to 6-4 is completely different. So really proud of our kids for doing what it took to get to 7-3 to finish out this season.
Pretty good crowd for this game that's kind of way at the end, and also a little bit of weather, not awful, but not bad. A lot of great home support.
Yeah, well, it was a test for the fan base, and man, they sure showed up, and that's something that really impressed me. And something I'm really grateful for, to have 4,000 plus fans in a November 17th game. I'm telling you, it does not happen very often anywhere in the country, so we're really, really thankful for that.
Was the team motivated to, I know they were motivated to finish well. Were they motivated to finish well at home?
Yeah, they were motivated to finish well at home, but also the first game we played against them, we were not at our best by no means, all 3 phases. So there are some really particular things that we could have done better to have that game turn out differently the first time around, and that's what we were focused on, the things that we could control to do that. Then on top of it, finishing 7-3, doing it at home, it was kind of the perfect storm, and the kids responded well.
Well, let's take a look at some of those highlights to get into this game that was at Wildcat Stadium, as we said, in Marion. It was way near the end of the season. You got out kind of to an early start. Here's some action. Looks like you've got Devadney Alford, who ended up having a monster day, and you're coming out balanced like you hope to.
Yeah, we came out quick out of the gates, and that's really important for us, and especially being, having a week off to shake that rust off and come out fast on both sides of the ball.
Dante Henderson back, and that was a big plus for the game too.
Yeah, for sure. And Dante, we're excited for his development and growth, and for him to be healthy. I think it's going to be really special.
One of these opening drives, how big is it to just go down there in front of the home crowd and get that score?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often at any level, so to do that and to start with momentum on the board is just, it can be really key for people's success.
Trying to see who had that ball there, but still in the first quarter, really 2 quick scores. Here's a little bit of trick play action. Quick around, and you've been getting speed all year. There's Dante again. Yeah,
we had that little reverse built into our openers, and we executed really well. And then this was a nice job by Coach Terrazas attacking their structure defensively and with the hard play action to Tyler Thomas.
That puts you up 13, eventually 14, and you're going to go to 17-0. This is then your defense. I know you want to talk about your defense, and we'll get to the second quarter in a moment. But first of all, they stepped up here early on too and made some big plays. They're a lot of shutting down of their passing game.
Yeah, well, I think they're number 5. They had moved him to running back for the game and kind of had their game plan set around him. He ended up going out of the game hurt, and I think that simplified him and kind of got them out of the rhythm they wanted to be in.
Let's talk a little bit about Ben Van Gudden, because what was that, was that a 46-yarder if I'm remembering or something?
Yeah, he was on fire, and he's a special talent. We've put a lot on him in the first year as a young player and responded well, and he did a great job of finishing out the year.
Now you come back second quarter or into the first quarter, and this surprise anyone? Did they get a big play? They get behind you?
Yeah, we fell down. The one time we fell down, the other time we played with bad eyes, and that was frustrating that we went into halftime with 13 points given up and on 2 situations that we could have just played a lot better in. And then dropping the interception here, but Justin played a great game. But those are the plays that we can't give back to the other team. We have to execute those opportunities.
I'm looking at this, and I'm remembering the first game was a game of quarters. What made anything that made that second quarter so unique that they really got back into?
Well, our offense slowed down a little bit, and that hurt us. And then there was 2 opportunities here where we didn't get the ball back on takeaway opportunities, and we made 2 mistakes on defense that led to 2 touchdowns. And if we don't make those 2 mistakes on defense, or if we get those 2 takeaways, or we move the ball a little more effectively, you know, we could have won this thing up, you know, 30-0. But I was really proud of the way the kids came out of halftime.
Another special teams play, and that didn't turn out to be instrumental, but at this point in the game, for them to miss one, and then you turn around and Von Gutten had the kind of the go-ahead with the 3 points there, 17-14, or ended up being 17-13. That was, kicking game did make a big difference for you.
Yeah, and coming out of the second half, our kids responded well. We had slowed down in the second quarter, and this was another one by Ben where he came up and did exactly what we asked him to do. And I'll tell you what, you watch Saturday TV with all the big-time football teams around the country, there's a lot of people out there that can't roll a kiddo like that and kick a field goal when we need it. So we're really blessed to have that efficiency. And Braden Smith came back in the second half with some toughness, fighting through an injury, and gave us a big spark.
I've noticed players on the sidelines like to watch Braden's yards after catch. He does not go down easily.
Yeah, he's a big target, and he's just become tougher and tougher in the years gone on.
We were commenting during the game, Zach Blair ran one in for you there. Is that his only rushing touchdown of the season?
It might be, yeah.
Had some good runs through the season.
He has, and it's not, you know, that's not necessarily his calling card. So for him to come like that, come up tough in a big time, and then this big special teams play and taking the ball back away, and our momentum is rolling at this point.
How important was it to this third quarter to matter? The same way the first time you played Lawrence Tech, both defense and special teams really did pour it on along with your offense.
Yeah, and honestly, I saw it as a narrative for the entire year, because the entire year there's been times where we've started slow, or we started fast and then didn't finish, and part of our maturity is putting an entire game together. And we were all looking at the third quarter to see if we were going to respond, and our kids did that exceedingly well, and it just kind of put a nice little bow on what was going on for the entire year.
We're seeing Devadny now Alford just kind of sock this thing away up.
He kind of 34-13 took over the ball game.
Really start eating up clock there, and then what can you say? Ben Von Gutten just had the day.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and he keeps doing this for the next 4 years. He's going to walk away here as the all-time leading scorer in the history of the football program, and he's on track to do that.
I think everyone was impressed, has been impressed all season, but no less on Saturday with how these guys kept playing all 4 quarters.
Yeah, and we've had to do it fighting from behind before, and that's been good for us, but this was a time where we had to continue to fight and not quit even when we were up, and that's the situation.
Great example here, Juice Johnson. We'll get another look at it. What happens here?
Oh, they went jet motion across the formation on a 2-point conversion play. Then they tried to yo-yo him back out into the flat. And Juice is a really special young man, and he did a great job of accelerating to the ball.
A little chippy here, coming down in the fourth. Just jawing because these two teams know each other.
Yeah, well, they're building their culture a little differently than us, and they wanted to try to get into our heads early, and we got to become a program that is not at all affected by other people's lack of discipline. And we're a disciplined team, but if the moment we start to slide our discipline back is the moment that we've got to really ratchet it in.
And here again, more examples of not quitting. You go to the ground game, but you make something out of that, and as they're tired, the runs just seem to get pouring on.
Yeah, and it was a great job of our kids. Their kids started to kind of let off the gas, and our kids stayed on it, and that's the kind of team. It was a great way to roll into the offseason right there, is executing our plan, staying with our identity, and our kids coming out big with it.
As a coach, I know you're not trying necessarily to roll up the score, but is it important to keep that momentum going, just to make a statement that we're not going to quit?
Yeah, at that point we weren't going to throw the ball, we were going to try to pile it on, but we were going to run our game and run our stuff, and our kids did a good job executing that.
Well, 51-19 speaks for itself, but as we watched the game unfold, it did have those kind of narratives, as you use the word, where you see those kind of opportunities where you could let down or they could get back into it. And I think that's been one of the stories we've observed all year. Have you seen that too? I mean, the no quitting, the mental errors, and then recovering from those mental errors.
I think every single week has been a new experience for our kids, and I think the thing that's marked the season the most for me, and I said on the radio this morning, was our kids have learned and grown from every new experience, win or loss, and our kids have done a great job. And through all of that, the wins and losses, we've never stopped fighting, we've never quit. And that's rare to have in an 18, 19, 20-year-old these days. So that's something we're really proud of, and I think for me, that's what personally marks the season.
You have talked all season long about culture, and I think we've seen evidence of that. what does it mean to carry on culture through to a winning season, and now to continue that as you start to build for another one?
Well, the next step of culture is that you have a group of guys who demonstrate it. So once it's alive and living and well in them, in their 20 square feet, then they have to demonstrate and hopefully influence somebody else to do it. And culture is a big thing, but it starts with every single person owning it themselves. And right now, there's a great many group of guys in our team that are owning it and living it themselves, and as long as we can continue that momentum, it'll continue to grow. And so whatever it is that we're stepping into, new off-season, new recruiting class, new season next year, as long as we stay within our culture, we feel good about our formula and the success to come.
Well, you'll do a number of interviews and you'll get a chance to sum this season up, but let me ask you a little bit of a different question. Any 2 or 3 surprises? I'm not shockers, but surprises like I'd hoped this would be good and this was better, or this went the other way?
Yeah, I think that I've been really proud of a couple of things. One is our assistant coach's level of game planning. And us being a bunch of young coaches, we showed up and we had our kids prepared every single game. And I'm really proud of those guys. I'm really proud of the way our kids have trained physically. We did have injuries this year, but man, the attrition was delayed probably all the way into the last few weeks of the season, and that's really unique and special. And I think that that's been really cool to see. And I think that the maturity of the second class that came in, some guys in the first class really demonstrated leadership, and then there's the second class that's coming in doing the same thing. So as the years move forward, these first 2 classes will serve as the nucleus for what the program is.
Well, it's been fun to watch, and as we know with most sports these days, there is no off season.
Yeah,
there are breaks,
that's
but now it's lots and lots of conditioning, get bigger, get stronger. But
that's right.
It's been fun to watch. Thanks, Coach.
Randall.
It's been a pleasure to be a part of this. Well, when we come back, we will talk to some runners as the cross-country team of IWU brought their season finally to a close. Welcome back to Wildcat Week. Men's cross country ended its season as the NAIA National Runner-Ups this past Friday, and we have players or runners from both of the teams. Jesse Saxton and Becca Groh are here from both teams that competed in national championships in Cedar Rapids, Iowa over the weekend. Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
Let me start here with Jesse. Second place finish overall national. Did you ever expect this team to compete at that high of a level?
I mean, it was our goal at first to compete. Like, that was our impossible goal for the season, was to be either contending or to be a runner-up for the nation as a team. But going into this, we were ranked 4th, and it was just how we ran the race. It was phenomenal how we ran the race. We couldn't have ran it more perfectly.
And Becca, women finished 14th.
Yes.
And to be at the national level at all is a big deal. Mm-hmm. What about your expectations coming into this season?
Yeah, so honestly, we came into this season not really sure what to expect. We had lost 4 out of our top 7 from last year, and so we knew that this season was going to be a struggle to get to nationals in general. So we just kind of came in and we adopted this attitude of everyone all in every day. So we were just focused on our effort and bringing everything that we had to the table, and we knew that that was going to be necessary to get us to the national championship. And we started off this season, we were unranked, no one was really watching us. And as the season progressed, our team progressed, we got a lot stronger, and we were definitely stepping up. We had a lot of freshmen step up as well as upperclassmen as well. And we came into nationals ranked 20th, and then we ended up finishing 14th. So.
That's amazing for both teams. What's it like? Did you immediately feel like when you were there over the weekend that this feels like nationals, or was it just another run and on the outdoors for you?
There is definitely a heavier feeling in the nationals week because we got there early and we just had time to relax. We were able to go to the course and just scope out what we needed to shoot for in the course, and it just more or less prepared us. Like, we didn't necessarily feel very pressured, but it just gave us a better sense of what we're going to be running at. Did
you just compete? You were coming in with a lower ranking, so maybe expectations were high. Did that take any pressure off?
I think that, we definitely were coming in as underdogs, and I think that we all just showed up with the attitude of we're just going to do our best and that's going to be enough.
Take us inside the mindset of a cross-country runner, because we know that it's not a big spectator sport. We know that your families are going to be there, and we know that there's not the same kind of media coverage. So do you have to find that kind of spark within your team and your teammates, or do you find it for yourself, Jesse?
For our team, like really all we've been doing is been keying off each other. I know me and my running partner, per se, Chris Maxon, we always key off each other. Every single race we've keyed off each other this season, and it's worked out phenomenally. And like that goes for the rest of our top 7 and for our entire team, as we've just keyed off each other, picked up each other's weaknesses, and like sharpened each other's strengths, and we just worked through it from there.
Becca, I know anyone that drives around a campus, you guys are always running, no matter what the weather. And we're complaining about snow or sleet or whatever, then these guys run by us. And so there is no off season. As a matter of fact, Jesse just came from a run before this interview today. So do you find that you draw that energy from within or with the other teammates?
I think it's a little bit of both for me. I mean, definitely your team isn't going to be solely enough. You have to have some determination for yourself. But for sure, the team makes it so much easier. I know my teammates push me every single day, and we also have a lot of fun out there while we're running, especially on easy days. You know, we're like playing games, talking, laughing.
An easy day would be what, 95, blazing sun? Is that an easy day, or what do you like for training? Would you rather, or for competition? Would you rather be snowy, sleety? What's better for you?
I would rather have it colder than warmer.
Amen.
Same thing?
Amen.
I've heard that multiple times. I have heard some marathon runners say they'd rather have it warm, but not that many.
Yeah. Nationals was definitely nice and cold for us. So
It literally couldn't have been more perfect.
I was going to say this weekend was probably the same pretty much across the Midwest, but what was it like up there?
It was colder than usual. It was below 40 degrees, I'm pretty sure, the entire day.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit windier, it was cold, but really that's ideal running weather.
Next steps, Becca, because we said there's no off season, and most of the cross-country runners are also doing distance, and you've got an indoor season, and then you got a spring season.
Yeah, so
any break there? Any mental break?
There's a little bit. We get 2 weeks off. Some of us are training for a half marathon that they'll race in 2 weeks, and then some of us are taking our 2 weeks now. So yeah, we get 2 weeks off if we're running the marathon or not, and then we'll go straight into indoor track. We'll train by ourselves through winter break, and then we'll come back, reunite with the track team, and get ready to go for indoor season. Is
it possible, Jesse, with that kind of training schedule, to be able to catch your breath and say, wow, what a season we had?
Really, it just depends on like the easy days, you got to take easy, and the hard days, you got to do the best that you can. But really, those easy days are what makes it tolerable for all of us.
Jesse, what are you going to look back on this season and say?
I think I'm going to look back and just be super grateful for the opportunity to race with the girls that we had on this team. I'm a senior this year, so this was my last season, and I couldn't have asked for better teammates. Obviously, the coaches have played a really important factor in my running, but I'm just going to be super grateful, and yeah, I'm really proud of how it ended.
Well, Becca and Jesse, thank you for coming in, and congratulations. Like I said, it's not a sport we see a lot of from a media standpoint, but you do fantastic work and you represent all the Wildcats well. Congratulations to you and all your teammates. When we come back, Mikala Woodfork will bring us the breakdown, and we'll look at what it takes to be an offensive lineman for Wildcat football. Stay with us. Welcome back to Wildcat Week. You know, we have so many different sports competing on this campus, and to help us bring us up to date in a 2-minute drill, we'll send it over to Mikala Woodfork with the breakdown.
Thanks, Randall. Another great week for the Wildcats. Women's cross country finished 14th out of 36 teams at the NAIA National Championship in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The top Wildcat runners were Rebecca Groh, who finished at a time of 18 minutes and 30 seconds, Yvette Rojas at 18:32, and Christina Magers at 18:58. The men's cross-country team also competed in the NAIA National Championship and finished in 2nd place. This is the best the men have placed in the championship program history. Oklahoma City came in 1st place and St. Francis came in 3rd. The top 3 runners for the Wildcats were Jesse Saxton, who finished in second place at 24:27, which tied the Indiana Wesleyan record. Chris Maxson came in at 24:43 and Adrian Howard at 25:22. The swimming team finished in second in the 3-team meet with Olivet Nazarene, who finished in first, and Lindenwood, who came in third. Linnea Hallgrim secured her first NAIA qualification in this meet as she qualified for the 400. As a whole, the team secured a spot in the 800 free for March. Women's basketball lost to Cincinnati Christian 54-46. Both teams were struggling shooting-wise, but in the third quarter, the Wildcats fell behind, only scoring 1 point and could not recover for it. The men's team, however, are on a 3-game streak of scoring 100-plus points in a game. They first beat Cincinnati Christian 128-75. In this game, sophomore Kyle Mangus scored his 1,000th point. Coach Tonigal said that Kyle is a special player, and I'm still amazed in how he does it. They next faced Ohio Christian and won 103-64. In this game, the men shot a season-best 61% from the field. Man, I'd hate to be the team they play next because they are on fire. Well, the football team finished its first official season with a 51-19 win against Lawrence Tech. They finished the season with a 7-3 record. Well, that's all that I have for you this week on The Breakdown. Back to you, Randall.
Thanks, Mikala. You know, in Wildcat football, it's the guys on the line who take the biggest hits that seem to get the least recognition. Silas Weghorst took a look at what it takes to be an offensive lineman.
They push, grind, rest, and repeat. Nothing happens in football if the line doesn't hold.
If you come into it expecting to be like the big guy they show on the screen or something like that, like that's just not what's going to happen. So, I mean, I kind of take pride in that, you know. I mean, the only time I hear my name called is when I hold a guy or something. So that's just kind of how it is now.
But this band of brothers has no regrets.
I don't know. It's all so good. There is no bad part. I love it so much. Oh, getting stepped on is pretty bad. That hurts.
It's only their first year holding down the line, but Coach Chris Moore says he's seen tremendous growth.
In the Upland game, we really found out, okay, this is what it takes. This is what it's like to play college scholarship football. Now let's grow. So I thought they'd done a great job responding, growing, and then physically maturing even throughout the year.
And the players experienced growth together, this time off the field.
The group as a whole spends so much time together in football that there's just been times where we've just kind of migrated together outside of football. It's just been special. I mean, I'm from the same town as 3 of the other guys that start. I mean, we all have the same goal, and I think we've really bonded over that.
I think just little stuff, like we have a discipleship group over at Coach Moore's house. That's always a good time that we're able to get together and just grow together, not only in relationship, but in Christ as well.
Having them over to the house for discipleship has been awesome, especially last year. We didn't have a real season, so we had a lot of time to really build great relationships and deep relationships through that and bond outside of just football and X's and O's.
With the first season coming to a close, these Wildcats have one last chance to show what they're capable of before going back to the grinds to get better together. With Wildcat Countdown, I'm Silas Weghorst.
And as you've seen, if you've watched Wildcat football, those guys on the line have grown and made quite a difference in this inaugural season that's been fun to watch for all of us. That's all we have for you on this episode of Wildcat Week. If you'd like to see more of Wildcat Week, you can go to our website, wiwtv.com, see past episodes and be able to connect with us online. Again, that's wiwtv.com. And you can stay connected with all of our local programming by subscribing to our YouTube channel. That's WIWU-TV51. We do look forward to seeing you next week. And for all of us here and part of this program, thanks for watching.